Welcome to another Johnston County Muzzleloaders behind the scenes. We had a good day today. Only one injury to report, and that was things happen. It's a shop situation. Sometimes people get their fingers poked. Luckily, it wasn't a power tool, and we still have all our digits, though some skin is missing. That is okay. So, we made our short starters today. Pretty easy, simple project, but I'm glad y'all got a good feel for, kind of how things are made in the shop. Short start is a great way to start these crafts because you get to dip your toes into the metalworking aspect, you get to dip your toes into the woodworking aspect, and kind of all the stuff you have to do in there between like cutting and drilling to the sanding and final finishing. So one of the questions that came up today is when can we start decorating? And I said after it's finished, which is true. If you're putting checkering on the thing, stand by. So if you're putting this handy dandy checkering, right there, let me get the light where you can see it, on it, that's something that has to be done after it is like sanded, after you put a couple of coats of finish on it. That's just how that has to be done. I'm not sure why the rules are that way, but then it's the rules. Now, decoration like this, that incised carving, you can put that on it once you get it sanded down and ready to apply your clear coat, your finish, whatever you decide to actually finish the wood with. If you want to stain it, whatever, that's fine. That's where that would do. Outside of buying a pretty decent set of chisels, which you kind of have to have a V tool. They call it a V tool, and I'll grab mine. It's literally a V. You see that? That's all I use to just kind of do that. There are a couple of kits you can buy out there. This is a 5-piece kit by a company called Ramelson USA. That's like $45 or $50 for the chisel set, but you got to keep them sharp. You can get single V tools to be able to do every single bit of that incised line, and they probably won't run but $10, $15 if that's something you want to do. But you need to learn how to keep it sharp if you're going to go that route. The first short starters I made and decorated and worked on, I only had a $3 set of needle files from Harbor Freight. Don't go to Lowe's because they're going to charge you $12 for the same thing. So it's got this little knife edge file in there. I used that. There's a teeny tiny triangular file somewhere hanging out over here. I don't know exactly where. It might be in my gun kit. But anyway, it's just got a fistful of itty bitty tiny files, and that's how I did all the decorations on some of my earlier short starters. I got a square file, and in just a few minutes I'm going to show you how to excuse me, how to use these to make your short starter just a little prettier. We'll work on some metal decoration, and I'll show you just kind of how to do some make the wood look a little fancier, just to give it a little pizzazz, a little pop. So let me point the camera down to the workbench, and I'll show you what's going on. All right. So let's talk about a little decoration on the brass itself, right? Sure, the plain brass looks fine, but I think we can do a little better. So what I want to do is, as soon as I find my other triangle file, there it is let's put a bead around the bottom. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Get you a nice stable flat platform. You don't have to have a vise. It helps, but you can do it all right there, and you're just going to kind of make a mark, and you're going to hold it good and tight, and you're just going to kind of follow that mark around, and just be very careful and be patient. Be patient with the tools. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on that file. You know, kind of keep it. You kind of see that line forming there. That's easy. You just kind of want to let the tool do the work. I'm using a pretty light amount of pressure just to get it to bite and get that first cut. And just kind of chase it around, stop it and look at it a lot. So that way when we get around to it, we'll be able to make the lines meet up. And if they don't meet up quite right, guess what? It don't matter. You're doing this for you, you know. You're not doing this for anybody else. I mean, you can be doing it for other people. So there, we've got our first line, just kind of cut and in size, just all the way around, and then we're going to come back through and just follow it back around. Just make it a little bit deeper. Keep your hand moving in one direction and make sure that triangle edge is in the groove and you are moving absolutely parallel with it, because if you don't, you're going to run over that edge and you're going to, I mean, you can fix it, but it's not going to be as pretty or straight as you'd have wanted it to be. So see how we're just kind of rotating the piece. If you look right here, I kind of got off my line just a little bit, but that's all right. That is okay. We'll just kind of fix that, and you know, it's not, again, it's black powder. You can be as precise as you want, but at the end of the day, you're shooting something made of 3 components. You're using something that is made of 3 components that, you know, it's black powder. Sit back, chill out, shoot a muzzleloader, you know? So I just got my knife edge file there. It's got a cutting side here, and these 2 sides cut also. And you know, just use your different tools. They all do various and sundry different things. I had no idea what some of these files did until you just started. You just start playing with it, and the uses kind of reveal themselves. So there we go. Always pushing, never dragging. I mean, you can drag it back and forth, but when you pull it back, you risk coming out of your groove and making a weird cut. So there it is. There's our little line, right? It's as easy as that, and you can that's pretty much the start of a very traditional type of metal decoration called the wedding band. This whole little series here is called a wedding band, and yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 grooves, 2 close together, 1 kind of in the middle, and 1 a little bit farther apart. What you do is you cut your 4 grooves just like we did with this one. So you cut your first groove, cut the second one next to it. Be careful with that second one, because you will absolutely run it over into that first one. And then you'll cut your other 2 and get the outside grooves deepened first. And then the fun starts with the inside grooves, because if you remember today, we were talking about taking your file and taking it, and as you're giving the metal a stroke, running it all the way over. You do that same thing right here, and you just literally take that file and roll it over that edge, and you do it this way, and then you do it back this way, and you do it on this one, except you know, you got a little bit fatter spot to do it with. And you just roll it there, and then you roll it back this way, and that's what gives us some nice little beads on there. So it's a simple decoration. And it's not that hard to do. Again, you just kind of got to be patient with yourself and with the tools. So don't get into any hurry, and or do get into a hurry, and it's fine to make mistakes. They're okay. Just to be patient enough to figure out how to fix the mistakes. Anyway, so that's how you start working on the metal bits, and I'll just go ahead and just kind of show you how to roll that over real fast. See how I'm twisting it? Just like letting it roll right off the edge. Boom, roll it off. Easy peasy. Take your time. Set it in that groove where it's not going to go, and push and just roll out of it. So this is a little just quick and dirty short starter I made just for this video, but you can see this is a piece off of Alice's, this is a scrap. She used a nice piece of walnut to make her short starter, and I took a piece off of that and just, made a little itty bitty teeny tiny one. You can hit it, you can just tote it around with you, whatever. It's a good piece of wood. Drilled it. I don't need a little side short stub, but I also drilled through and put a pin in it. That's easy. We could do it next time y'all are here, or you could leave it. Doesn't matter to me. But yeah, you literally just drill it through and tap a piece of brass rod through there. It's easy, it's done. So now that you kind of know how to get a nice little roll on that metal, you can use the knife edge. Where's my little square one? A square one works too, but you can twist on it, but it hops out of that groove much quicker, and you wind up having a little less control over it. I think that's a warding file right there. Same thing, engage it in the edge, push it, roll it over. Easy peasy. A little bit of finesse, and kind of being patient, figuring out how it works. So there is that. Let's just for a minute talk about wood carving and decoration. I'll show you how this V-tool works. If you can draw it, you can carve it. So let's just say, for instance, I want to carve an M for McCoy, whatever. Cool, it's a nice little swirly. I just start down here, and very little pressure, you start curving that up, just like that. We talked about the wood grain and how it kind of, how we need to make the cut. With Fabian's, we were kind of working against the grain on one part, but we got it figured out. You really want to be cutting across the grain, or just very nice and neatly with the grain with these little V-tools. Now, if you don't have a V-tool, like I didn't have for a long time, you can take an X-Acto knife, and as soon as I find out where my X-Acto knives are, I'll show you how that works. If not, I got this thing here. This is literally just a knife, chisel knife, but close your eyes and, well, leave them open and pretend it's an X-Acto knife. You can literally take and just follow that line with your X-Acto knife, and just do the same thing right there, and pull it around to it. Be careful, the X-Acto knives are sharp. So now we have our lines kind of cut. All we're going to do now is come into that line at an angle, pivot it in, right, just like that, and then you'll go back over it one more time, and that's going to give us our line. I kind of goofed that one, but whatever, it's black powder. Let's goof off. So you can kind of see it's not as efficient as using that V tool to get that line in there, but it's there. You can see exactly that, and you know, it's an incised line that just works real nice. You can also take the tip of your triangle file. And I know I have one over in this one. Now, you're not going to be able to do curved lines with the tip of your triangle file, but you can kind of just use it to mash the wood down, right? Just press that wood down, and you know, you can use it to kind of wiggle the wood out of the way. See what it's doing there? Just kind of making a little sawdust. Easy peasy. Just kind of deepens your lines a little bit. They'll be rough because it's not a cutting edge, it's a grinding edge. But you know, there's one way to do it with your $3 tool set. You can also lay it kind of flat and low and start carving out a little bit of line. That didn't work right there real good, but you know, you get the idea. So we got our V tool, we've got our X-Acto blade that we use to cut there, and we just kind of, you know, messed around with the chisel to do it. You can also etch your brass with the tip of that little triangle file. I don't know if you can't really see that well, but it's hardened steel and brass is soft, so you know, you can kind of goof off with it that way. But yeah, so one of the things I did when I was kind of first experimenting with designs is just different levels and steps and platforms on the thing. So I would take my line, just draw you a little line there, draw us a little line here. I'm not using a precise measurement. I'm literally putting my finger to the wood and laying the lead down, and that's my measurement. See, easy peasy, just like that, just like that, just like that, and whatever. So we're not totally square here. We're not evened up. Then I'll take my file and just start kind of working on that line. You know, just get in there and make it work. Now, this is one of those situations where if you do have a clamp or a vise or something along those lines, it really helps. But you know, you can make it work with your hands. If you've got good light, that helps too. So we're just gonna kind of make a little line right here. Actually, see if I got we'll use that bigger triangle file, and just, you know, follow your line and make it work. Find the right side of the file. There we go. So we got that cut. We got our line going now. Easy peasy. So there we go. All right. And once you get that line started, you can start actually doing work on the piece of wood. You know, and yeah, once you get that going, you can, once you get your line cut in, just like we did on the metal, you can switch to a different file, like this knife edge file, and do deepen your line. And just like that, we've got a line on our stuff. You can come here, we'll do this line there. We can take the tip of that knife edge and just get right up to it. There we go. It's all right. We blew past that other line, but whatever. It's black powder. Sit down, relax, shoot a muzzleloader. So we've got our two lines there. Let's go ahead and put this. We'll go ahead and do it all real quick. Again, once you get that line cut, you can start rocking and rolling with it. And it doesn't take much to keep your file in the line. You know, it doesn't take much to put a groove in the wood and then just, you know, have at it. So let's do this one here. Just, I mean, we're just using the file. No cutting, no nothing. And this is a $3.50 file set from Harbor Freight. Your big box stores are going to have them for $5 or $6. Lowe's will probably have it for $7 or $8. Michael's has them, but they're $12 there. Michael's and Hobby Lobby have them, but they're like $12. You could probably get it for $3 shipped to your door on Amazon. I also have another set over here that are, I don't use them a whole lot because I just hadn't really messed with them, but they're diamond grit files. And actually, let's pull one out just to see how it works with the wood. Huh. That's my knife edge file there. Seems like it's wanting to work. It's not gripping and cutting like an actual cut file is. It's just kind of sanding aggressively. Let's pull out this triangle file and see how that does. But that aggressive sanding does make a dent real fast, so let's just pull it out. Let's go. That's a half round file. We don't need that one. I'm looking for you. So yeah, just a taper tip file. What do you call that? A barrette? Whatever. So anyway, so let's take down that step there, and you can, you know, like we did with our brass, you can take and roll over that wood, just like we did with our piece of metal, and put a bead. You might not be able to see it good from there, but this spot's flat over here. This spot's starting to get a little more round. So you literally doing what we did with that, you know. I'm just gonna step up a file real quick. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have all the toys out. So yeah, you can just literally start rolling that edge over like we did on the brass, and you know, make something pretty. And it really doesn't take all that much to do it. A little decoration, a little patience. There it is. So anyway, yeah, I really just wanted to show y'all how little it takes to you know, start decorating your woodworking projects and your metal too. So I mean, $3.50 from Harbor Freight. It's got what, 12 pieces? That's more than enough for what you need. In addition to working with wood and metal on these, you can also work with horn and antler. And I've made several antler powder measures using and decorating with strictly these files. So anyway, you got options, and yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Good job today, y'all, on the short starters. You should be proud of yourselves. That was going from knowing nothing to walking out of the shop with a perfectly functional short starter. I mean, it's no small feat. So now you've got the first piece of your kit, and you can go on and make dozens more should you choose. So anyway, that's all I've got, and until next time, yeah, y'all stay safe out there.